I really hope that came through in time. Oh, good evening, everyone. Welcome to a mother. Yes, welcome to a mother. It's going to be one of those nights, folks. My name's Matt, your somewhat muddled dungeon master this evening. We are thrilled to be back. We were away a little bit of time due to, unfortunately, some illness among numerous members of our party, and DM included. So we will jump into, before we jump into the last time we were together, a couple of quick shout-outs. I want to say thanks to Streamlabs and Twitch, as well as our beloved sponsors. We have Little Dragon Corp. If you put ! Little Dragon into chat, it'll give you a link to their website. They sell all manner of things. Lord knows you've seen me flash things around before. Most of my dice come from them. My 2-year-old has apparently absconded with my dice display, little light-up base that I got from them. All manner of stuff. But you can check them out. Use the discount code PROBONUS on their website. You get 10% off your order, and they ship globally. So definitely check them out. We love them. And then if you're more local to me, we have Cardboard Castle Games. You can put ! CCG. They're located just about an hour south of me in Georgia. If you swing by, if you are local, go into their brick and mortar location and tell them you heard about them through Proficiency Bonus and you're a fan. You'll get 10% off your purchase that you're making on site. Again, they've got dice, they've got books, like you can sort of see over in my bookshelf this way. All manner of magic cards, a bunch of different stuff. So definitely go check them out as well. Let them know we sent you. We love them both. So definitely check them out. Hey, it is the holiday seasons. You're watching this stream. You probably got similar interests to us. You probably got friends with similar interests. I'd like to save a little money on your holiday shopping, just saying. So with that, we'll jump into last time. As our party has been spending a little bit of time at Candlekeep, they were able to obtain some various different books and tomes to be able to pay their way into said establishment. Had started poking and prodding a little bit, trying to get some information. Some individuals with slightly greater range of success than others so far. But Murdoch had the idea, as they were sort of discussing things, to reach out to a member of her organization to see if they had an in with anyone at Candlekeep. Come to discover, as her benefactor or boss, benefactor, whatever Hex is, it's complicated, had a, well, I'll refer to them as a contact that they were sort of keeping an eye on, who happened to be a Gith. Murdoch eventually was able to arrange a discussion with this individual. They had a conversation with the party, and permission was granted for the group to proceed beyond the Emerald Door. They discussed a little bit with their guide what their plan was, and the decision was made to start with exploring the wing, we'll call it, of the library that deals with extraplanar activities. And basically, if it's extraplanar, you're going to find something about it somewhere within this building. As the party entered the building, though, they came to realize, much like their home, the building they walked into is bigger on the inside. Seems to be almost an extraplanar space, if one will pardon the term. And with that, we turn the story over to our party. As the group of you have all made your way into this building now with your guide. And so the story is yours.
I feel like we've been going into more pocket dimensions than regular buildings as of late. Just me?
No, I think you're right.
Right. Well. Ooh, that's a lot. Of books.
Everybody take a direction.
I think we need to stick together. I look at our guide.
Right.
It is quite wise to remain together, as if people do get separated. But it is unlikely you will be able to locate your friend.
Wonderful. All right. So how are things divided up, subsections wise?
By author or by title? Or color?
Subject?
Well, it is typically done by subject in small sections, and from that point you can find various papers or articles within said subsection by author. Alphabetical last name. Assuming the author has a last name, or it is a known author. There are some pieces we have here that the authors are unknown.
All right. Well, I think we have a vague idea of where to start. We want to go look at some of the deific figures of Kryn, I think. Branch out
Yes.
from there.
Hard to know if that would be in the planar section or the gods. I mean, even if there is a deity section. So I might as well start here. We're here already.
Yes, we do have an entire section on deities and the different religions that worship said deities, but that's about a 15 to 20 minute walk. It's a couple of blocks away.
All right.
What about the section on Kryn? I mean, it's not this plane, so it must be planar.
So you can see sort of rubs his chin for a couple moments, and everything we have on the various different planes or realms that have been discovered is indeed gestures down. But just, are we all going together?
Well, I don't want to have to look for any of you, so let's say yes.
I'd take Sarah's hand and like hold on to it.
Oh,
I'm assuming Lydia's like on the other side.
Probably. And yes, for those at home, as you notice, Lydia is not with us this evening. So Lydia will be on Roleplay Light. But yes, as Lydia has been sort of remaining close to Sarah after the whole, I guess I'll say memory situation or emotional situation, Lydia will probably be remaining very close to Sarah as we're going through this. Yeah, eventually your guide proceeds to start leading you down this, basically down one side of this building as you're basically just a row of books. And as you keeps walking down, you're walking for about 5 or 10 minutes. You can see about every 2 minutes or so that sort of branches off, and there's a long, a new sort of hallway or aisle of books with books on either side coming off your right. Leads down for a little ways and eventually gets to a point. You go, okay, no, not this one, next one. Ah, this one here. And gestures down to this, another like 35 to 50 foot stretch of just hallway. Books running floor to ceiling. These here are all of the books that we have on the different planes, realms, levels of existence. Think of there's multiple books on each of the 9 levels of the hells here. There are things on Elysium, the elemental planes, the Feywild, Shadowfell. Everything we've found, everything that is within the repository for other realms and planes.
I'm gonna start looking for the section on Kryn if there is one. Hopefully it's alphabetical.
I take off my like overcoat, my like suit jacket, and I hang that up, and I got like a little button up underneath, and I just like uncuff the sleeves and like roll them up.
I'm for learning.
It's a learning time.
Okay, go ahead, Furia, make an investigation check for me.
6.
Oh,
The library is destroyed.
I'm better at perception. I'm not very good at investigation.
You spend a good little bit of time going back and forth and trying to find this. And as you're looking through this, let me grab my note here. You actually, something else grabs your attention as you're looking through. Trying to locate this specific thing here. And as you're flipping through, where is my note here? You actually see a book labeled Kindred of the Beastlands. And on the side of the book is a familiar pod emblem that you remember.
It's sort of like, didn't think I'd see that in here. I'd pull it out, turn it over. Oh, I'll start flipping through it.
Yeah, as you're flipping through it, it seems to go into a lot of details on someone referred to as the Beast Lord and the Great Hunt.
Yeah, I like, as I get to that bit, I was like, oh, I look up, see what everybody else is doing. Go back to reading, like, what is this? Like, is there actual answers in here more than we already found out? What do they actually want?
Yeah, so,
oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
Aside from like looking for Kryn, which they would, like the books on Kryn, they would be looking for that primarily. But since they mentioned it, like books on the Nine Hells and things like that, I mean, they said they're gonna watch me, but we're here, so I might as well go for it. Hi!
So which one are you looking for first?
Kryn.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
What? I'm in a place of knowledge. Dang it! Well, 6?
Okay.
Can anybody get another 6? It'd be perfect.
Oh!
I will also roll for Kryn.
Okay, let's go ahead and make an investigation check. While you're looking, so we'll jump back over to Art in a moment. Three, as you're flipping through and looking more into this, you're finding out that there's a lot of information on this, basically referring to this place as the hunting grounds, or the wilderness, or even the happy hunting grounds for some locations. It seems like that it is just a location where those who enjoy the hunt reside.
Okay. Yeah, get as much information out of it I can. Nah, I didn't say maybe 15 minutes. Because I know I shouldn't be actually here for this, but I sort of got sidetracked.
I rolled a 26, by the way, DM.
Okay. So jump over to you momentarily as Artemis, as you're sort of poking around, and again, you're looking for information on Kryn, and you're sort of poked around in that, basically you're stuck sort of in the middle between J and L looking through this.
tiny. I can't reach all the way up.
As you're looking through where you can find, you actually see something that grabs your attention. Referencing the layers of limbo.
Okay.
And seems to be something dealing with this outer plane. Would you be
Okay,
taking the book out or just sort of...
Yeah, I'd be taking a look at it.
Oh, okay. So as you sort of flip through it, and again, just spending a couple of minutes scanning through it really quick, the first thing that you notice as you're flipping through this, well, beyond it referencing, is just a plane of complete and utter chaos. Is that the Gith are known to reside in some areas in Limbo. Meaning the gentleman you actually were able to, well, Murdoch was able to get you access to this area through, is from that realm. I'm flipping through it a little bit more. Most of the book just seems to be dealing with the extreme chaotic nature of the realm. As it's all the descriptions on it are dealing with this sort of hyperspeed, twisting, chaotic area filled with just chunks of earth and trees, molten fire, rock, water, just entire landscapes of these random mismoshed pieces of bits. Where the Gith are known to reside, it does specify that sentient beings could potentially sort of dampen this effect down to a degree in order to set up these quasi-livable levels within it, as long as they maintained constant concentration. The more intelligent the person focusing on it, the larger the area they could maintain as a safe space.
That's interesting.
And it also specifies that certain higher level creatures, demigods and deities, are able to create safe spaces that survive even if they were to leave the realm and return later.
Okay.
And then we will scan over to Sigma. Or actually, before we jump into Sigma, because Sigma, with that roll, Sigma, you're going to find what you're looking for. Murdoch and Rose, what would the two of you be doing?
I
think Rose has lost her voice.
It. Buddy. Oh. There's a little. Is the jack loose?
I think he can hear us. Try flicking the microphone. Nope. Okay, do me a favor, Maddie. Check your settings in Discord. Make sure your microphone is set to the right.
He's a little choppy.
Well, Rose is checking on the microphone. Let's jump over to Murdoch real quick. Murdoch, what would you be doing?
Well, Murdoch is gonna try and go for something a little bit more specific than just Kryn in general, because we've heard a lot about Paladine and Takesis, but not as much about this third being called Gideon. So I want to specifically try and find more information about Gideon.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, that might have been my voice ringing up. It is Gillian. Gilean.
Ah, okay. Gillian.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check for me.
Come on, 6. 15, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. So. Okay. Rose, any luck with your microphone? Nope, still nothing.
Just a disconnect, reconnect kind of thing. I'm not sure.
Okay. So I keep hearing a click from somewhere, though, which is weird.
Yeah, I hear an occasional pop.
Okay, can you hear me?
Hey, we got
Yeah.
Rose.
Hey, I don't know what the problem was, but okay.
Hey, Rose,
Technology.
what would you be looking for during this? Assuming you are.
Yeah, I guess I would have been mainly like looking towards the rest of my party, since this isn't my wheelhouse being in a library. I guess I would have heard Furia, let out that, oh, I would have like drifted towards Furia. Like, did you find something, Furia?
I gesture at the book. It was before you joined, but we had some encounters with people with this symbol, and I point to the cover of the book.
Oh, right.
They were rather, well, interesting. They seem to be going after some rocks that we managed to get before they did. We still don't know what they do. It was a little bit of a puzzle. I was hoping this book could give me a little bit more information, but I'm not having any luck with it.
Well, maybe if we spend a little more time with that book, or maybe there's another book here that could help.
We haven't encountered them in a while, and I mean, I have more information about them, in my notes, but I think Kryn is a little bit more important at the moment. If you want to look through it, go ahead, but I think I've gotten all I can out of it.
Well, I mean, if Kryn is more important, maybe maybe we should look for that instead. If you've gotten all that you can get out of it.
So with that, we will pan over to Sigma. Ooh, Sigma, you were actually able to find exactly what you were looking for. You find a book referencing the realms and populace of Kryn space. And as you start flipping through through this book, it's basically giving you sort of a walkthrough of this. I guess I'll call it of this realm. So as you're flipping through it, you see that it's referencing that within this area that there are a total of known, what they refer to as planets within this realm, of which Kryn is the third. The others being referenced as Chislev, the fourth planet from the sun, Sirian, the closest to the sun, and Zivelin, the fifth from the sun.
The sixth, you said? Sorry.
Fifth.
Fifth.
So Mercury, then Venus. Oh, yeah.
On top of that, it references that well, I'm assuming, I shouldn't assume. Would you be focusing as you're flipping through this book, looking at Kryn specifically rather than the others, or?
Probably just looking at Kryn in general. Yeah.
So as you start to focus in and flip to the chapter on that specific place, it starts going into more and more the geography of the area, the cosmology of it. It references that the planet is orbited by 3 moons. A white moon, known as Solinari. A red moon, listed as Lunatari.
Mm-hmm.
And a black moon, Nutari.
All the way back when I'd been in the game for like 4 sessions.
As you're flipping through it, it is referenced as it's describing the moon that the only time a normal person can see all 3 is on a holiday known as Night of the Eye, when all 3 moons converge. The black in front of the red, which is in front of the white, giving the appearance of a massive red-colored eye. It also goes on as you start flipping through it, and it goes into all of the different continents, capitals. It's a fairly in-depth telling of this realm.
I'm gonna like face my party and hold up the book. I found something that might be of interest. About the other world we went to.
There we go. That's good. I mean,
Great. What is it?
Well, it gives us a laydown of the solar system for that world. Also, it names the 3 moons, which is a good thing.
Are we currently live? I'm getting a notice that we're not actually live at the moment.
Oh no.
No!
I'm showing we're live.
Yeah, we're live.
Okay. Somebody said it went down and got replaced by Waterdeep.
No, let me reset my...
Refresh.
No, yeah, no, I see us.
Yeah.
All right. If that's good, that's good.
That's great.
Sorry.
If you
I
didn't
can't
watch
check my
that Waterdeep
computer.
episode, though, it was pretty good.
My internet's not fast enough to do both at the same time, so I can't check. But
It was a good Waterdeep episode.
oh no, I killed the
This kind of
Okay.
a TPK if the DM's dead.
Nope, you win D&D at that point.
You win.
did you say layout of the place? Like is there a map?
Yes, there's a map. There's continents. Apparently, there's more than just where we landed. Capitals. Cosmology, geography.
Did you say that there was only one specific time where all three are visible and they overlap each other?
Apparently, yes.
Something about an eye, some sort of festival or holiday.
Yes.
Does it say? Is it always at the same time, or is it just when that happens? It is that holiday. Is it a specific date?
I start scanning through the book. Do I see a specific date, or do I...
Let me see here.
The reason why I ask while I bide time for the DM to look it up, is because generally these sorts of celestial occurrences, planets aligning and the moon being in certain phases, that can very often denote a time when the veils between worlds can become thinner. And so I wonder if it was either approaching or has passed. Perhaps maybe on a day where they would have attempted to summon a god.
Well, apparently there's more than just moons in the solar system as well. We were on the
Is
third. Third? Yes. No.
Is that a term the book uses? Solar system. Quite like.
Well,
It's ringing. It's catchy.
it is a sky system, one could say.
Good. I like when people name things that make sense.
It's from the sun, so it's a system that follows the solar.
Wait, you're saying there's a space above this, like outside the sky?
Virial,
If it's
what
a
do you-
system with the sun, there's like more than one outside us?
Viria, you've lived in the woods. What do you think stars are in?
Well, yes, but not around. I mean, the sun is a star, it's bright and shiny. But, I mean, there's more around the sun? Solar system? Unless there's just one planet around each star? This is too confusing.
We need to get you more books.
Lydia is furiously scratching her head. So as you're flipping through and looking for that sigma, you do find that when all three moons are full, it happens once every 504 days.
504 days. Moment.
So it does not happen the same day every year.
But they can predict it like the
Yeah.
moon phases. So you could definitely prepare a ritual.
That's surprisingly less rare than I thought it would be.
Same.
Now, you do see that there is mention that as you're sort of going through and looking into this Night of the Eye a little closer, references that this specific event happens once every 504 days, but they reference a total of 3 occurrences within that time period. Once when it is a waxing crescent, one when it is a waning crescent, and one when it is full. The 2 that happen on the crescents, because the moons are at different phases, it doesn't line up perfectly. So it's sort of like taking 3... it's like a Venn diagram where you get a little bit of each one shows up.
I, no lie, was gonna be like, is there some sort of rule of 3s with this ceremony? Because there's 3 gods, 3 moons, 3 keys of knowledge. I was like, really? And then you just said it. And I am dying.
Well, you made the first death save, so you're okay, Ink.
Yeah, I'm sensing an end to this.
Well, can we take this book and...
Well, does it say anything about the gods? No, that was in the
Well,
message that we got.
I have the name of the moon, so if gods are 3 and moons are 3 and 3
That doesn't help the message that we got. What about the gods?
Do the names line up with any of the gods, or is
I
this
don't
just
think
a
so, because
kibosh?
we
well, they don't
have their names.
match. It's the moon's names aren't the same as the 3 gods, but
I'm not saying that. I'm asking if in that book there's information about the gods, because we're looking for this thing, and the moons weren't mentioned, but the gods were.
I'm looking for god stuff.
Did the gods did say anything?
Go ahead and make another investigation check as you're flipping through, as we're going to jump over to Murdoch for a moment. As you're sort of flipping through and looking for
13.
Looking for this information for your deity, you're not finding anything as you're flipping through looking for looking under K's, looking under G. You're not seeing anything jumping out specifically on this individual. It looks like you're looking for what you're looking for. You're probably going to have better luck looking over where in the section that is specifically about religions and deities.
Which was the 20-minute walk.
Yeah, it's in a different section.
Fudge nuts. Okay.
And similar for you, you do find an area listing out a whole bunch of deities that are worshipped in different areas of Kryn.
Do any of the names match or no?
You do see 3 that match.
Oh!
Paladine, Gillian, and Takesis. You also see Solinari, Lunatari, and Nutari referenced. You
One god per moon.
You see, let me see. There is another one listed there as a false deity known as the Great Worm.
Uh-huh.
And then there, you see other names that you recognize from another point in the book. Chislev, Zivelin, Syrian. Doesn't give a whole lot of information on each god, but it does in fact give a little blurb on what they refer to as the primary deities. And forgive me, Twitch, our cameras are going to go a little wonky for just a moment. Actually, no, they don't have to, so I can do it on the other one. Our imitation person can do it, so we're going to go. Okay. So our fake Lydia just threw into chat the way they broke down the gods that were referenced.
I was gonna say it seemed like
from each.
yeah, it seemed like Gillian was gonna be the neutral one because if we have black, white, and red,
Yeah, we already knew Takesis was like bad.
yeah,
And we knew from you that he was Paladin was pretty good.
he was sort of the opposite, and also I mean like the Black Queen. So black, white, so we can infer probably neutrality. Also, it's the moon in between the other two, so
Yeah.
Gillian for neutrality. 3 keys of knowledge, 3 gods, 3 moons, 3 special times where they overlap. or 3 special like snapshots.
Mhm. Is there anything on the keys in the book, Sarah? Anything about keys?
Is there a mention of keys? I look for a mention of keys.
And you do not find anything.
That would be too easy.
There is no mention of keys.
3.
I say that would be too easy, but we literally went to another dimension, so
Is there a mention of the Great Scribe? Because that is described in the message as seeming like a different person than the gods. Because it said, and when the Great Scribe sets the last books at the end of all existence on the altar in front of chaos. Talks about like, I will be there with my hands sitting on the spheres of time, the sphere of time, as the gods Paladin, Gillian, Kesis place the keys of. So like, there's 5 people here. There's the Great Scribe. There's I think the Master of Past and Present, with his hands on the Orb of Time, and the 3 gods.
Is there a mention, or like, is the title for any of these gods the Great Scribe, or?
As you're flipping through what you can find on looking specifically at the information on the deities in this section,
Mm-hmm.
you're not seeing anything that coincides with that with that name or anything that sort of jumps at that moniker.
Mm-hmm.
You do see reference again speaking to Gillian, the god of neutrality, that he was given something called the Tobril by someone he calls the High God. But it doesn't go into anything else other than referring it to as the Tobril.
I might be able with that part if it's not in the book.
I think we may need to, Don't call me out like that in the chat. I think we may need to possibly visit a deity library section.
We probably will. I think so there's mention of this Toblerone.
I knew it was going to be mispronounced like that.
but no description of what it is.
Correct.
That's what you're saying, Matthew?
His reference that this god, Gillian, was provided the Tobril by the High God.
polygonal Coco. That
I am going to attempt a sending spell
Okay.
to the High Priest of the Temple of Paladin back on Kryn. Because we met.
Okay. Yes, you did.
That's gonna be
And
cool.
I basically, I don't have enough time in my spell to give a whole explanation of why I'm asking this, but I believe by nature of the spell they'll know it's me because we've met and
Right.
I'm the one sending it. So Murdoch is going to ask if I might borrow your knowledge, if you have it. Does the sentence "and Gillian received the Toblerone from the High God" have any significance or meaning with your faith or Paladin?
Okay, go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
let's get some intraplanar studies going on here. Do I have a d20 in my bag? I do. I hope so. 19.
Okay. You do get a response. So after a couple of moments, you get a response coming back. The Tobril is Gillian's book of knowledge and true names. The full record of the High God's plan of creation.
Murdoch probably, like, you know, because she did the incantation for the spell, and there was probably like a little bit of magic energy as she focused and waited. We have been given some extra information from a friend back on Kryn.
Now that's an extraplanar entity.
She smiles. That is Gillian's tome, Gillian's book. Specifically bearing a
Like the
poster.
one in the message?
Well, it apparently is said to contain the true names and essentially the divine plan of the High God for how creation is supposed to play out, which seems to fit in line with what should be laid on the table at the end of said creation. It's so it is a holy book. It is the divine plan that was given to Gilead. So then what would the other two contain, I wonder?
If
That is
yours-
curious, but it's also not necessarily what we're here for. But we might find out if we go to the deities section. I don't know if we can find out anything else here.
The more strands of a web that we can spin, the greater the likelihood that we can catch a fly. Wider net.
Right. I don't think it's bad information, but
It does get very confused.
I do have. I don't know if Lydia has the spell prepared, but I can send 4 more messages today. So if we ever get hung up on something, I can make an attempt to call back to someone in Kryn and get their account of things. We're working on just information, most likely from visitors and people that haven't necessarily lived in that world.
yes, I can message another person that I'm pretty sure is from Kryn, but last time I messaged him, he wasn't that helpful conversationally, so I don't know if he'd actually give a helpful answer back. He'd probably just say, like, yes or no, so it's a little iffy. But I have a sending stone to him, so you never know.
And Lydia
chose
does
to-
confirm she has sending prepared as well.
Okay. So we've got more than like the, what is it? You get the 3 lifelines in Who Wants to Be a Millionaire.
Also, we could send to Captain Dunbar, or Lydia could, if he's be more likely to contact him if he's still in this plane.
Are we able to take books from these sections and bring them somewhere else with us for cross-referencing purposes, or do they all have to stay in their respective dimension houses?
If you're remaining with your guide, he'll let you take it with you.
I hand the book to Murdoch because she's more responsible.
Oh, you're learning. Good job. Only took you 80-something years.
It's the hand coming off of the cat.
What makes that even better is the way you two appear on Discord.
Your
Paris
reverse.
on the bottom left, Sigma's on the bottom right. So it's literally, you reach off to the left and Hankup's over from the right.
Yeah, it's a wrist.
It wraps around like a video game.
Maddie, can you remind me of something outside of character? Can Rose not read anything at all, or is it common that she doesn't read and she could read like Dwarvish?
She can read much better than she writes, but like she's still not a strong reader of all languages.
Okay.
She can't read.
All right. Because I'm just... Something in me is just like, dwarves are normally really, really good at keeping histories down pat. So if there were any Kryn Dwarvish accounts, but I can't read Dwarvish, so... Well...
And I could attempt to read it if it came to that, but
Okay. Good to keep in mind. So do we feel like we should take this book that Sarah found and bring it on over to the section about deities and then continue there?
Good as place as any. I mean, we can always come back here if we really think we need to.
unless there's something more we think we need here before we move on to a different section.
I think we're chipping away at it. We're Michelangelo and we're looking at the marble block. And like there's a David in there. Just gotta get him out.
Pink, and it shatters.
Just like SpongeBob.
I
Just
gotta
like
watch
SpongeBob.
the marble. I
We're on
gotta
our
be
first-
the marble.
DM,
We're on our first day out of 10. We have a little bit of time here.
during this time, could Art have been looking for any books kind of on the Nine Hells?
Sure, you trying to keep this from your guide, or you just...
Not particularly. They already know that they're gonna be watching me, so it's not I'm gonna be extra sneaky. Hi.
Stop looking at demon.
Oh, but they're so pretty.
Okay, go ahead and make an investigation check.
You can tell me how to live my life.
Dice.
Dang it!
You say investigation? Or...
Investigation, yep.
Oh, 10.
Okay. So as you are flipping through this, you do find it appears to be a single book here. That is, basically it's giving a description of one of the specific levels of the Nine Hells, a reference to Avernus. And basically it goes into a whole bunch of information on it, how it is the the primary battlefield for the Blood War. And it is basically its residents include all manner of imps, lemures, different, basically the rank and file soldiers of hell. It also references a name that you have heard before of the five-headed dragon Tiamat.
Okay.
At one point, it also specifies that at one point Tiamat was the ruler of this realm, but was replaced by Zariel.
All right. I don't know if this would be a question that I could ask to our guide or to Murdoch, but because there's different versions of it seems Tiamat. In Crin's world, it's Takesis. Does that also mean that there's another version of the 9 levels of hell, or is it just strictly like a copy of deities? My brain.
So is this something that Art is just voicing out to everyone in the area, or?
I think so. I mean, me as well. I'm interested in it, but
I feel like it's less about there being necessarily like an exact copy or something. It's more about what it represents, which is the evil and corruption that must always be set against that which is good. Sort of like a, like a scale. Like I mentioned before, it's what we do. We make sure that the scale doesn't tip to either side. But it's sort of like a lot of scales overlapping each other. There must always be something opposed. Whether that is, for us, it is the 9 hells and the abyss below it. But it may take different forms. But the root of what it represents may still be the same.
And your guide chooses to chime in and specify that you may not be incorrect. I'm not as familiar with the other place, but I would point out that Tiamat is not a god. She's just another servant on the 9 hells. She's not even an archdevil. She does serve as a champion for Asmodeus and his ilk, but
How about now? There we go. I guess I'll have to do some more reading.
As you said before, you're in the place.
No, yes.
Well, that sounds a great excuse to go over to the deity section now.
okay,
What
so
a transition.
your guide will start collecting you and start leading you out. And you guys are only taking the one book with you. The rest of them are remaining, or?
I would probably start walking away, and then on second thought, backtrack and grab the book that I'd pulled out before,
Okay.
just so I can go over it in detail later, and keep walking.
Okay, easy enough. Takes you a little bit of time, but eventually you make your way back out. Step out of the building you're in. Into that inner cloister that you found yourselves in. Again, another about 20-25 minutes goes by, and eventually you find yourself in front of another very similar looking building. Key comes out, unlocks the door, opens it, and invites the group of you to step in.
Here we go again.
Yep, head on in.
Yep.
Okay. As the group heads in, again, you have the very similar experience as you watch each other sort of step in and just vanish. But eventually you all find yourself standing within this area. And he sort of looks around as all of you come in and closes the door behind you. Looks at the group of you. Well, okay, this building is assorted a tad bit differently than our prior location. As this is dealing with deities and the religions surrounding them, everything is sorted alphabetical by the name of the deity. Some you will find myriads of tomes on. Others you will find next to nothing, as they are not native to here.
Okay.
Well, which one do you want to start with? Alphabetically?
Alphabetically.
So I believe that would
Sure.
be Gillian
Yes,
first.
Gillian? Yes. A, B, C. Count on my fingers.
It depends on what you're looking for. You do have two gods that first names begin with C on the list that Sarah found. Chislev and Chemosh. But they are not names that you have heard before. They're just ones that Sarah found in her book.
Right.
If I look to my side, where on the alphabet am I?
So you are literally right within the entranceway. As you turn and look to your left, you are at the letter A.
Akatosh from Skyrim? Skyrim. Elder Scrolls.
Well, I
It's
know we
about
found that big
time you
list.
woke up.
But what if we just start with the ones we're super interested in, and then if we need more information or extra curious, we can go back for more later.
And if we start coming up with duds, I don't know how fair it is to look at their reflections in our world, but you know, if Tiamat Takesis, Bahamut Paladin, who does Gillian become?
I don't know. I'm really not that familiar with deities in general.
Well,
I mean,
if you're asking that, I'm thinking it might be a gnome sort. There was the Book of True Names, and we had a bunch of those in the mountain when we were in Kryn. There
Could-
is a gnomish.
Well, that book
deity.
was just their name? Just one name in the whole book?
Then that's what was in the mountain for me as well. My name, my family's names.
Well, while we're talking, let's start walking. We might take a while to get to G if this is only A.
everyone's got so many names. And
I only have
no one wants to talk about their keys.
Well, I think according to what that Magic Mouth message said, keys might be in the spellbook section. But we need to know what to look for in the spellbook section.
Yes.
Okay, so eventually you guys are making your way down. Sounds like you're starting with G.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think so.
So who's taking point looking for the book?
I will, because I have.
I totally got distracted last time.
Okay, Sarah, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
I'll throw you a bardic inspiration.
Okay. I will take the bardic inspiration.
I'll throw you a bardic inspiration.
How much is it?
It's a D8.
Okay. I don't know how to do an extra die in D&D Beyond, so I'm just gonna steal one of my
Luckily,
lights.
I have a
You
bunch
hit-
of dice right there.
You
Is
hit
this
the
a
little
D8?
button
No.
in the corner,
No.
or you just roll a D8.
And so just remember your roll and then click to roll an extra D8 and add the two numbers.
Down. Yep. There you go. Wow.
18
Oh, okay.
altogether.
So, you do find a tome
I found the tome!
describing this deity. As you're flipping through it, it does advise that he is known to be the chief deity of the gods of neutrality, and is the divine power, and his divine domain is knowledge.
Okay.
As you're flipping
Is-
through it, it again references it.
Dogma.
References that he is typically thought of to be an observer, cold, passionless,
Neutral.
That makes sense.
as
How
he
very
is just
neutral of him.
observing everything. It calls reference to his constellation being the point of balance between the constellations for his brother and sister, Paladine and Takesis.
Yeah.
Oh, they're siblings.
Is there a mention of the Tobril?
It does mention that he was called from a realm known as the Beyond by the High God. He was removed from time, risen to godly status, and given the Tobril. In this specific notice, it references that some in the Lord City of Palanthas have started spreading the myth that a mortal scribe was taken out of time and promoted to become Gillian. Legend and myth has it that it may have perhaps been Astinius of Palanthas. And also reference that Gillian has sired only one child, the goddess Lunatari, who sprung fully formed from him.
Athena.
As
All-
they do.
Hey, Athena!
All other gods under Gillian within the Tree of Neutrality hail from the same realm of the Beyond and were summoned by him.
He was called first and then brought all the others.
And brought all others.
But Paladine and Takesis are his siblings, but they are not from the Beyond?
All it references as you're looking through it specifies that he was brought over out of time and risen to godly status as a brother to Paladine and Takesis.
Okay.
Yeah, don't try to explain God's family trees. It gets complicated.
Yeah. I get it. You've been raised up onto like the same pedestal as them, so you
He was
essentially
adopted.
are
And they
their
were
siblings.
already there, essentially.
Okay.
So well and good. How do we get to a key? How do we get to a key from
Yeah.
this?
So the keys are placed next to the book. Maybe the Tobril is his book, but we're still missing something.
Is there a mention of keys in the book?
We're not sure whose key we're going after. That is the other.
We don't know.
True,
Well,
too.
I'm looking for keys. I'm looking for a mention of keys.
Yeah, it says one of them is come to reside here.
Yeah, it didn't say which.
I'm checking the book. I'm checking. I'm rolling a 1. It's a 9.
As you're looking through, you're not seeing anything specific on the keys of knowledge
Okay.
or any reference of key within this.
Do we want to phone a friend again?
We just ask our guide, like outright, if he knows himself without a book.
It's not he's been making it sound like he doesn't know pretty much jack all about Kryn.
Not many people here would.
Yeah, he's a scholar for this world.
Well, I would say gather knowledge on each of these gods, getting a general idea of who they are according to the people that wrote the books about them, and then maybe take a crack at the spells section. Maybe one will jump out at us. I don't know. I really can't think of anything else to do at this point.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, I say that's pretty good. Quickly crack open books on the siblings, see if there's any information that we don't really already have, and then
Let's see if we can get a new lead that way.
yeah, because you're thinking spellbook because it says and the spells of the ancients get to be yours, right? That's kind of like where you're going off of it.
Yeah, it's really only the only hint that tells us where it could be located in here. I mean, this is a gigantic place. I
Yeah.
mean, we'd spend years and years going through all the books trying to find a reference.
It's because I guess I was interpreting it as you give me the key, and because I am a very super awesome, cool, powerful wizard, as a reward will give that to you. I didn't interpret it as it is that, but it could
be either.
that.
I mean, but where else
It's a
are we gonna look?
metaphor.
Rose is like, I don't even use spells.
I don't know anything about any of this stuff.
I use axe.
This is a
Back.
lot of paper.
Shield.
I cut
What
down
happened
tree,
to-
make paper.
What happened to carving on stone tablets?
Kids these days.
Hipsters these days.
Yeah. If we quickly find some books on Paladin and Takesis, is there really anything else that we sort of haven't already figured out?
Unless it's more like a key to the book, like keys to knowledge. I mean, it says Gillian is a god of knowledge. Maybe there's a key to his book, like a
Maybe.
Could it
not a literal key, but like a key to figuring it all out. But I'm not sure where to even start looking at that. So I'm going to take the more literal meaning of it, and if that doesn't work out, then you try something else.
In the future,
was-
I'm going to tell the Master of Past and Present to be less cryptic.
What was the name of Gillian's daughter one more time?
Lunatari.
Lunatari. Okay. And we're in the G's.
Yep. So basically,
wanna
you're
go
heading
check
to
that
T eventually, it sounds like.
Okay. Well, I have a theory.
Run with it.
Well, if I run with it, you're going to be angry with me because I'm gonna have to leave the group and go
Don't
down.
literally
this way.
run. You're going to trip and fall and knock into a bookcase,
No,
and
I
it's all
mean-
going to go down.
We're walking down the hallway. Just when we reach wherever your plan shows up, just stop.
What? Once we get to L's, I'm gonna start looking for Luna.
Oh, okay, go ahead and
Lunatari.
make an investigation check.
Okay.
Rabbit holes.
I mean, I suppose we could look. If you're going after Lunatari, we could look after the. See if there's any information on the guy that people
Oh
say
my
became
god.
Killian.
Yeah.
13.
You're
I
not
can start
finding
using
anything.
real dice. Will one of you help me look for Lunatari?
Maybe it's just a height thing. I'll look on the shelves up a little bit higher.
Okay.
Go ahead and make an
I-
investigation check.
My theory is that
11.
oh my god, I'm going to kill this party.
As you're looking, you're seeing that there are some that start with LU, but you're not seeing anything there. There are a couple of empty spaces though, so it is possible that somebody somewhere in the library already has picked up this book. That, if there is a book here, it may already be in someone's possession.
The only thought I could have is that a key to him or to his knowledge would possibly be his daughter's name or title, if we could think that God of Neutrality could be sentimental.
From your description that he read, probably not.
It didn't seem like it, but
Yeah, because the key
Ew.
is something that we are here to retrieve, and I don't think that the daughter of a god is just chilling.
Well, maybe it could be a hint, like she had something that was special to her, and her item would be what he finds sentimental.
We don't even know it's Gillian's key yet. They're all keys of knowledge, but
Yeah, I feel like we like keep like going too deep, and that it's like more surface level.
let's continue going to the T's.
There's gonna be something
Let's
stupid,
do
like
level,
how-
level 1 research here, and then if we need to go deeper, we got plenty of days to do that.
Maybe the real key was the friends we made along the way.
And suddenly the clouds dark. No.
The pit just opens under Sarah's feet and so you're heading straight to T?
I think so.
Yeah, T comes before P, right?
No.
No.
Wait.
No,
Why don't we
LMNO.
stop at P for
LMNOPQRST.
T.
Y'all are the ones who said T. I'm
TUP.
just trying to make sure.
No, we're just going to
I mean, we could pass it and get it on our way back. Like,
Never mind.
to streamline it. We're gonna look up Paladin and Takesis, see if there's any new info, and then move on.
Our guide's like, oh my gosh. While we're walking, I'm gonna just like
How did these
grab a
people get in
random
here?
book from the peas.
Okay.
I would like to reach out and grab one of the peas.
And go ahead and let me see here.
The moment I see something that's like Pal, yeah, Pala.
Okay, go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
Okay. I am going to commit actual murder. 7.
Okay. So, as you are sort of just wandering around, you're getting to the P area. and you reach out and grab the first book that you see.
Mm-hmm.
It starts with PAL.
Mm-hmm.
And as you pull it out, it seems to be a description
Mm-hmm.
of some of someone called the Pale Knight.
If I open the book while we're walking, is there a mention of Paladin?
What languages do you speak?
Halfling thieves can't in common.
You have no idea what this book says.
Did you find something, Sarah? What's that?
I don't know. Can't read it.
We all wish we could be polyglots. I understand.
You wish you could be poly what?
And I take a look at it, but not knowing that I probably won't be much help.
I'm pretty sure you can't read this either, with the languages that you speak to.
I just put back on the shelf.
Was it Draconic?
I don't know. I
Did
put
you-
it back
did you
on the
show it?
shelf. We're walking.
Did you put it back where you got it, or did you?
No.
No.
Okay, well then, just by nature of respecting a library, I would go get
On
it
its
to
side.
I
proper.
don't think
Oh,
Sarah's
God.
going to be allowed in any library ever again.
God, she's one of those people that like she's grocery shopping and she sees a different thing that she wants, and she just puts the thing she's holding there.
No, it gets worse. She's the sort of person who does that with ice cream. Like, goes, picks up the ice cream, walks down the cookie aisle.
Bro!
No,
Put it
not
back
that.
in the frozen
It's in the aisle.
section.
Chaotic neutral, not chaotic evil.
I will go to put the book back, but is it in Draconic?
It is not Draconic. What other languages do you read? I can't remember.
I'm
Read or
Draconic-
recognize.
Abyssal?
Draconic, Infernal, and Abyssal.
You can read it. It is referencing Pale Knight, known as the mother of all demons. This is one of the archfiends that is supposedly rules over an area of the abyss.
In our world?
Yes.
Oh. Well, let's hope she's never a client. Puts the book back
Where it belongs or where I had it?
where it belongs, because the way Dylan is imagining this is that there was a perfect little gap between two books, perfectly sized for this one, and then you put it not on the shelf, you put it on top of other books.
Yeah. On its side, on top of the.
Paper facing out so you can't read the title.
I mean, the only thing worse would have been that you had it open, you were trying to read a page, and you didn't close the book, and you just laid it flat, splayed out.
Not splayed out, but cover facing out, but against the spines of the other book.
Oh.
Yeah, eventually, the group of you find your way to the T's. Go ahead and one of you make an investigation check.
I'll assist. Actually, I shouldn't assist. Assist. I'm not very good. But if nobody else will, I will.
I'll try again. I gotta redeem myself.
Okay.
You want some inspiration again?
I-
You already rolled.
Yeah. 19.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you are able to find a book on Takesis.
Haha!
It references that her, along with her brother Paladine, were called from the beyond to be custodians of the created world.
Why would you have a god doing cleanup?
Head of the deity of evil gods. It references her consort Sargonis, and that she was responsible for the corruption of all chromatic dragons. And as being responsible for corrupting the beasts, chose as one of her forms to appear as a many-headed dragon. References that she did have 2 children, one of whom is Nutari. The other referenced as a deity whose name you had not heard yet, Zaboim. And as you're flipping through it, it's listed that references that her son Nutari is the god responsible for providing those wizards who have chosen to wear the black robes their abilities. There is a section in this book, though, that references as a potential slight to her child. Takesis did at one point give her own followers the ability to wield some form of arcane magic, without the same limitations that Nutari and his siblings placed on the majority of mages. Also references that her constellation is the emblem of the many-headed dragon, and is basically in the sort of great wheel of the sky. Her constellation is on one side, her brother Paladin on the other, with Gillian in the middle, maintaining balance between them.
I relay all that to the party, obviously, and what I is that help? Did that help at all?
This is wonderful information, but I think that we're just attacking this from the wrong angle.
I'm not sure how else we could do it.
Well, I mean, I like your suggestion of, instead of trying to research the god and then denote a key from that, just trying to cut directly to something a little bit more tangible. I like that idea. Just... Oh, I'm trying not to get frustrated. I'm getting a little frustrated.
Don't worry, I'm already frustrated.
But we just...
We've
just to
only
finish
been
it
here
off-
for like a couple of hours.
No,
Sometimes
True.
puzzles take time.
No, yes, it's not the... It's not the time. It's the... It's the incompleteness of the picture. That's all.
Just to finish it out, should we still go and check out the book for Paladin, at least?
Yes,
I
was
mean, we're
about
here.
to say the same thing. I think we should too, just to follow through on this.
Make sure everything's consistent before, the one book we didn't read was like, and then Paladin with his key of knowledge.
Yeah, we're here, so I mean,
Exactly.
Let's take advantage of it.
Ugh.
Besides, if we are going to collect keys for the end of this world thing, I think it's a good idea to understand exactly what we're going after and who the people are involved.
Mhm.
If we're helping out with this.
You make a good point.
So as the group of you start heading back towards P, we're going to go ahead and take our break here this evening. As it's just about 9:40. So we'll be back in just a few moments as we top off our drinks and all that fun stuff. And yeah, so don't go anywhere as our party is... Basically, it sounds like they're making one more quick pit stop here before heading over to the place where Candlekeep keeps their accumulated spell tomes. It's time to bring the wizard to Candyland, I suppose. So don't go anywhere, folks. We will be back in just a few moments. Welcome back,
Rest
everyone.
right.
As our party is currently spending some time in Candlekeep and has been exploring, trying to obtain information based on these strange deities from another realm. They have recently decided they're going to change the approach and start heading over towards the arcane knowledge section, but not before taking a quick pit stop to grab some information on Murdoch's friend Paladine. So I need one last investigation check from somebody as we are heading by looking for this.
17.
Okay.
Ah!
So you do in fact find something. And give me a second here.
I wish I could just cast a sending spell on Paladine since I met him and we had tea, but I don't think a third level spell
Whip
cuts
it.
it enough to talk to God. That's like a 5th level spell. Commute. I think that's fair.
Okay, so Furia, as you go digging through this, you do in fact find what you are looking for. There is a book referencing Paladine, specifying how he was one of the first gods summoned by the High God from the Beyond with his sister. References that in the holy city of Istar, he was known by the name Bahamut. Said he was the patron of the Knights of the Rose and father of Solinari. It says he vehemently opposed all the gods of evil, but especially his sister Takesis. It lists out a whole bunch of other names that he is known by. As you're sort of flipping through, you see that, as I mentioned, Bahamut is one of them. He is known in some areas by the name Fizban, also as the Platinum Dragon, and Thak the Hammer.
That last one's just me when I accidentally hit my thumb when I try to nail something. Fuck. The hammer.
As you flip through, it also references that, again, much like his sister, his what's the word? His celestial, his constellation is a platinum dragon that sits across the wheel from his sister with Gillian in between them.
Okay.
And to somebody in the room, ding dong.
I make sure I tell everybody that. Read it aloud, probably.
Okay.
Ding dong. What was the ding dong? No one's talking.
I'm thinking somebody missed something, or it didn't go
I
through
think-
properly. Give me a second. Sorry about this, Twitch. Image is gonna change for a moment.
Was it me? Did I forget something? I've been really
Whoever it
lost in
was
my thoughts.
received it now. Oh, with that. With that, your guide is proceeding to lead you on out.
Okay. Sure. Is everyone good?
Yeah, I look. I
Far as
finish
know,
reading my
yeah.
piece. I look around. Well, that's all the important stuff in here, I guess.
We can.
I can't think of anything else.
You snap the book shut, put it back on the shelf. Off we
I
go
would-
to the arcane section.
That's the last thing I can think of for today, and then I think maybe take a break, get some lunch or dinner. I don't remember when we went in here. Might have been actually around noontime. Take a break, kind of reassess, and go back to it afterwards.
Hey guys, do you remember
Yeah.
that? Do you remember? Do you know that person who was like, "Ugh, you need to take the test, or else we're going to screw you up," and that person?
The guy all in black
Black robe.
that came into your room in the inn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're chatting to me. Don't quite like
Wait.
it.
Wait, what?
Like in
In your head?
What?
Oh baby,
I look at Rose. Jinx.
that they're telling me that we're taking this too literally. So I hate that.
Great,
Wonderful.
Love being sassed through telepathic messaging.
Tell.
Murdoch, it sounds like you have experience with this.
I have too much experience with someone being sassy in my brain.
Can I pop a
And
detect
that
magic?
doesn't sound very pleasant.
Why, certainly. Do you have it prepared, or do you have to do it as a ritual?
No, I got it. I got it. Oh no, we got this.
You see a lovely, bright-colored floating orb right in front of your face.
Damn it! Stop!
Stop what?
You
Stop what, Art?
Liu! Again! That thing, that orb. Ugh.
Oh, we thought that thing
Oh.
was watching Murdoch. Or is this a different one?
Art, would you reply? As you do, you would recognize this spell as sending. You do have the ability to respond.
Yeah.
Get banned.
Oh, if we're looking in the wrong spot, can't you ask what the right direction we should be looking in is?
I would probably send back like,
Then what would you? What would you recommend? Oh, omnipotent one.
Roll a d20 for me.
/ sass.
We're taking it too
18.
literally. I thought we were taking
Okay.
it literally enough.
So it definitely goes through.
Should we be answering that fellow?
And after a little while, you get a response back. And I'm going to...
This is the one who's trying to get Artemis to take a test that will murder them, possibly.
I mean, possibly, but considering how many active wizards there were in that world, there doesn't seem to be that high of a chance of actual death.
I don't like those odds still.
I mean, your mom took the test, right? And she was fine.
I don't know if they have like a grudge because of our extra planar. Ooh. I don't want them pulling something and then all of a sudden, oh, there we go. There's art.
You do get a response back. And the description that is provided to you in there is familiar to you. You've seen it somewhere. In an office you were recently in.
Heck.
Art?
What's happening?
Art, are you alright?
No.
As you're walking, you can see Art arting.
Yeah. The whirlwind of pink hair going on a face.
What did they
journey.
tell you?
We're not going to find it here.
Where?
It said it was here.
Well, this location, it could be anywhere.
Yeah, it just said Candlekeep, right? I mean, I guess it.
Oh, you should have picked it up. It looked nice.
Well, what?
Of course.
What was it? We're
Alchemy.
gonna go over and shake Art's shoulder. Not that hard. Just like, spit it out already.
Pick them up by the throat.
Pathetic.
I'm finding things out about myself right now.
Mommy, sorry, mommy.
I need an adult.
We need to go see the lovely person who let us in here in the first place. There was a book, particular book in his office. Kind of maybe nice.
The one with the gold in it, on it.
What, a silver? There
Or
was
silver?
another-
It was shiny and it was black.
Did you all look at some? I was busy talking to the man. Was
Yes,
there
there
something
was-
in the
and I thank
office?
you
One-
very much for that.
There was one book in particular that was very nice, but I didn't really think anything other than it was a really nice book.
Yes, me as well. And now I know that next time, whenever I see a nice book, I'm going to pick it up.
You've done pretty good about that.
Honestly, yes.
Honestly, yes. No, I was fighting the urge because I don't know. He was an alien. Could he just like poof me into another dimension? Maybe. I don't know.
No, they don't do well.
It's like telling Lydia
No.
that she could do that. That's just rude.
Yeah. The point is
Right.
that book the key?
I'm guessing. I also don't know why he's helping me.
Hmm.
Well, if he works for who I think he works for, I mean, that means he has the best interests of what we're trying to do in mind.
His name is Dalamar the Dark.
Right, and he worked for the head guy at the tower, and I'm pretty sure the head guy at the tower is this Master of Past and Present. I mean, I
Where's
could
the
be wrong, but
His part-time job is at Hot Topic.
I mean, there's nothing stopping you from putting on a blood red cloak and calling yourself Artemis the Awful. I don't want you to. I think it's good on you, but
Dark red with pink?
should
No, it
we?
might clash a little bit too
Oh,
much.
I
Let's
mean-
go there.
Yes, we just
Oh.
came from that office and the book's there, so let's just go take a look.
What does the guide think about all this?
what? I don't remember, but what makes you think that this book is the thing, other than it just looks nice?
I had a voice in my head tell me that, so I'm just going with that for right now.
I don't think that's a very
Like
good
for the rest
reason,
of the
just
party.
without context. But
Is
I
that
mean,
what it's like to be a magic user?
I don't know. This is usually they talk to each other in their heads, and sometimes Artemis can read everything, but sometimes not. And
I
And-
guess I'm not a magic user then.
Uh,
As I grow
Yeah.
a little flower out of the palm of my hand with a few
I mean-
words. Guess I'm not a magic user.
You're more of like the turn into a bear.
You just turned into a bear. I'm just
Well, I can-
confused by what
I
Artemis
can
said.
kind of do that, but I don't hear any
With the-
voices.
with
in
the-
I
there.
could
with
do a lot more
petals.
things than just turn into a bear, I'll have you know.
You
Yes,
turn
they-
to the guide and just be like, "I'm so sorry, dear. We need to go back."
She just apologized for us.
Go ahead and make an insight check.
I'm scared that you're telling me to do that.
Bod, get off of all of the dice, please.
Oh
I
my
mean-
god, 14.
It's not as bad.
He seems blank.
Uh, I tap him on the arm. Hello?
Would you damn the yes, are we still moving?
We need to go back.
Yes,
I-
we were just discussing you wanted to go to spellbooks, correct?
We actually might want to. I don't know if the Great Reader is occupied already, but I think we want to double back to the office.
Art, is that orb still in the air around
Yeah,
you
if
by
I'm
any chance?
still have that active, is the orb still there? Is there something about our guide that seems a little off?
Well, so, as you've been focused on the orb at the moment in this conversation, the orb is still present in front of you at the moment. As you're turning and looking at the guide as you're hearing the conversation happen, right now he looks fine. I'll say go ahead and make a perception check. I will say with disadvantage though, because you were a little distracted with everything else going on.
Mm, 14.
Not bad. Meets what you need to get past what you needed. So yes, he was glowing for at least you had a glow coming from where he was for a couple of moments. It is gone now. So it seemed like something had affected him, but whatever it is, he's fine. It seemed he's no longer resonating any sort of magic.
Right. Well, yes, no, we've had a change of plans. Is there any way that we could perhaps, as Murdoch said, double back?
You need to speak with Vizier Og again?
Let's just say we've had a sudden brainwave, and we need to ask for his advice.
Let us head back over to the office, and once there we can find out if he's available for you.
And if it takes a moment, that is fine. We do have some information to chit-chat about and lay out on the table, so to speak.
He gives a little bit of a nod and starts leading you guys back that direction.
I'm gonna side along back by Murdoch.
Okay.
And just like tug on robe.
Yeah, something was totally weird with them just now. Something was affecting them. Don't know what quite, but I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing.
I think it's a convenient thing.
For now.
I think it's a convenient thing that I might be working on.
I see. Okay.
Art, it is a little hard to look at Murdoch is that glowing orb is still floating like right ahead of you. So every time you look, you've got that just bright glow of
Oh,
the
I love
arcane
that.
energy.
I love that for me.
You can see like a vein starting to just like pop out in Art's neck.
Art, is that thing still there? Would you like me to dispel it for you?
If that would be wonderful.
Question, can I dispel it without seeing it? Or do I need to cast detect magic as well? I haven't looked up
No,
dispel magic
it
in a
does
while.
not say you have to be able to see it. It says magical
Nope, it's
effect within range.
within
So yeah,
range.
with Art being able to describe it and sort of gesture to it, you'd be able to do it.
Alright, I will attempt a 3rd level dispel magic on the floating orb.
Okay, so you are going to need to roll for it. Or are you casting it at 3rd level? It's a d20 plus your wisdom modifier.
This dude's gonna be like, man, I got more spell slots.
Dirty 20.
That's enough. So as you're watching it, Art, you can hear and you watch Furia form her incantation, and you watch as it just sort of fades a little bit, warps a little, and just vanishes into nothing.
Did it work? I've never done that spell before.
Yes,
Oh,
it did
yeah, that
work.
was a good one for you.
Hopefully that confounded him for a moment or two.
Well, ever since that weird orb that seemed to be following Murdoch around, I decided to, have it in my back pocket.
Thank you. Well, I'm sure a wizard of his stature can figure out something else, but...
Takes you a little bit of time, but eventually your guide brings you back through the emerald door, back over to the pillories, then leads you back up to through that same building up the stairs, and basically leaves you outside in a waiting area. As he goes in and says, please make yourselves comfortable for a few hours. She'll go see if the Great Reader is available. And then he goes in, you hear a knock, and he goes into the first set of doors and starts heading into back towards where you would remember you went to get to this individual's office. I think you've got a couple of moments before he comes back with some sort of an update. Anything anyone would be doing?
So we're in the office where the book was?
No, you're in an
Not
out.
quite.
Basically, you're like in an antechamber. You're waiting to
Okay.
enter his office because they don't know if he's available, if he's in his office, what the situation is.
And our guide went in to check or is waiting with us? Sorry.
He has left. You are alone at the moment.
Okay.
Okay. I guess.
Should I turn into a small spider or something? If, he's away and our guide leaves to sneak in and take a look, or you think that's a
Yeah,
bad idea
I was
here?
gonna
A
say,
mouse might be better.
we
I
gonna
don't know
ask?
if even magic would work here.
Are we gonna ask about the book? Or are we just gonna try and take it, or what's the plan here?
We are working with Candlekeep here.
That is true. You did tell them of our mission.
We-
But a
we're-
backup
we're-
plan is good.
I want to, now that you've dispelled that, I do think that we should investigate things that voices in our head tell us to investigate. That sounds really bad when I say it, for good reason, because we want to just make sure that we're not playing into a foe's hands. But right now I can't really ascertain that being the case right now, but let's just we'll tug the line a little bit. Let's just make sure that we're the fisherman, not the fish.
The last time I tugged the line, the room in our house disappeared, so.
Exactly. So we're going to just
So I think that was a little more literal than Murdoch
that was
going
literal.
for.
But and like you said, we have 10 days. So if
And-
not sneaking in now.
I mean, even if the information about the gods was not necessary to complete this, whatever this thing is, still good information if we need it in the future.
Yes. I skipped looking at spell books to do this, so I would like to return to that
I
section.
know. It's appreciated, Artemis. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Jeopardy theme.
Well, there was a book that I wanted to look for too, in probably the Spell region, so we'll see.
I have a feeling I might have to look at books of the clergy variety.
Why don't you just go to Ogma's temple?
That's what I mean.
Yeah, you should just go there. Just chat him up.
It's just like across the courtyard, like.
I'm not like Lydia. I don't.
Few
Well,
minutes
if you
goes-
want to talk to a god, just go to the temple.
Don't make him burn something else on you. That would suck.
A few minutes goes by, and eventually your guide comes back out. I'm sorry, he's not in his office, so I'm not quite sure where he would be. We'll have to send a request out, and then...
Could we
Wait.
just like hang out in the office until he gets there, or just we have like a table in front of us?
Unfortunately
full of
not. I could
snacks?
escort you back over to the hearth, but I could not permit you access into his private study without his presence.
Could we leave him a note? Or a message for when he returns?
And certainly, if you have ink and parchment in which to write something out, I can leave it for him.
I look at Artemis.
We probably all do.
Yeah. While checking our pockets. I'll pull out a piece of parchment and stuff.
Oh, okay.
I like put the pen to the paper, and then I look at Murdoch. Well, I have the nicer penmanship between the two of us here.
Okay.
We have additional questions and would like a meeting, right? That's
Yep. I mean, pretty much.
don't need to overcomplicate it.
Did some research. Want to corroborate.
Have some new leads. Maybe.
Please, I quickly write, please get back ASAP. Matter of past and present.
Ah, I see what you did there, like that.
So super
I
cool.
roll it up. Here you go.
Okay, he takes it and please bear with me another moment and heads back through the doors.
When he goes through the doors, can I look into the room? Does it actually look empty?
Go ahead and make a perception check.
Ooh! 18!
It does not appear empty. Your guide is in it.
Besides the guys!
So I could note myself. Yes, besides the guide, it does appear empty.
Okay.
There is no candle burning. It's literally just a somewhat dark room.
Okay. I'm gonna wait till the guide comes back.
Okay. Eventually your guide comes back out. So, what is the plan now? Are we back to the inner cloister? Are you taking a break and waiting for the Great Reader to be available? What is your plan?
I am needing to speak with the great and knowledgeable one of the godly variety.
Yes, 'cause this is.
Why don't you just say Ogma?
Are you referring to Great Reader Avonmore?
No, I just need to go to the temple of Agma.
Oh, I suppose. There's no difficulty there. And for the rest of you?
Well, we do have a policy of no one goes anywhere alone. I didn't see this book. Could I trust the three
I
of
saw
you?
it. I saw it for sure. It was very shiny.
Could I trust
But I
the
thought it was
three of
rather
you?
rude to just go and pick up something off a shelf.
Oh, it is. It is.
That's. Yeah.
I just don't like. I put like my hand on top of Sarah's head. I just don't like the idea of someone being in the temple alone.
Well,
That makes sense.
Lydia will agree with you and tag along with Sarah going to the temple.
Ah, thank you, dear. Okay. Probably the best person to go to temple with anyway.
Yes.
Lydia gonna bring you to church.
Whoa.
Of course, this is a cleric that like oftentimes would probably have just been drunk in the pew, but we make do with what we have.
Are they kneeling? Are they passed out? Are they hungover? We don't know.
Okay.
Surprise answer.
So you
all of the
just-
above.
So you two to the temple. Do we want all four of us to meet with the Great Reader and talk about the book, or is there anything else that we need to get done?
Nothing.
I mean, there is one thing I would like to look at behind the doors, but I wasn't really sure I could just do a request for it either.
Okay.
But I got a lot of information about what I wanted to get, so I don't think it's necessary.
Okay. Because we don't have need of a guide if we're meeting with the reader, I think. So if it was personal or something and you wanted to take the guide back.
Yeah, but I think the more people that are there, the better, we're off
Okay.
doing the quest together.
Then let's see if we can get our hands on that book.
Yeah, so
See
Rose,
if we
you're
can
hanging out
read
with
it.
the Great Reader group? Okay.
I dig out the other. I'm assuming I still have the book for the Great Hunt
Yep.
on me, so I just dig that out and start reading it while we're waiting,
Okay.
and start from the beginning and go to the end this time.
Okay. Art, what would you be doing while you're waiting for the Great Reader?
I think we're going to try and do ascending to Dalamar.
Okay.
And just pretty bluntly, like, why are you helping me out? Is this a good thing? Is this in nature?
Go ahead and roll a d20.
Two.
Okay. Okay, it's not a 1. A little bit of time goes by, and you get a response back. I see great things in your future. You have promise. You need only ask. And you will receive what you need.
And I'm sure that was Dalamar, yes?
Yep. You cast... when you cast that incantation, it went through, and the response you get, you know it is, in fact, this individual that you're hearing back from.
Why do people keep telling me I don't like that? Oh. Okay.
Murdoch Rose, anything the two of you would be doing while you're waiting?
So, beside Lydia and Sarah, did we just stay like right outside his office while we're waiting? Or did we kind of
think of it sort of like going to the doctor's. You're in the waiting room.
Okay.
So there's a couple of small seats to sit down, rest, but...
Yeah, I do want to try and get back to Mr. Little One at the hearth at some point for the rest of the tale he was telling me, but for waiting outside the office, I don't want to walk away just yet,
Okay.
so I'll just kind of hang out for now.
It's probably going to be a while, Rose, if you really want. You've been very patient with us as we just sit and pour through tomes for hours.
I look up from my book. Believe me, it's not always a lot of reading. There are, fighting things that happen occasionally as well. I promise.
Well, I guess if it's gonna be a while, I guess I could head back to the hearth for now. If
I just want you to know that you are always free to do whatever it is that you want to do. We have special restrictions on like Sarah and Artemis specifically due to past events of which you have no such record. You
I mean,
are
if
free
you
to
start
do
getting
whatever you
into
want.
trouble too, either by your own fault or somebody else's fault, we might also have to pair you up with somebody. But at the moment, you're good to go.
So if you really don't, basically what I'm saying is if you don't want to wait for us to go talk to a man about a book, because we've done that literally all day, please be my guest and do something for yourself.
Okay. And then on that note, she'll head back to the hearth and see if Mr. Little One is in his spot.
Okay. As you're heading that way, we will pan over to Lydia and Sarah, making their way across the open area to the temple. And the two of you head in, and the show is yours, essentially, Sarah.
Let's see. Are there like pews? There's pews, right?
Yep, there's a couple of like general spot like pews where they can sit down when they're doing larger services. Lydia points out that there are a couple of like, I'll call them like little like prayer niches where you can go situated, sort of light incense and perform things if you're trying to, depending on what you're trying to do.
Well, I'm gonna go in like the pews so Lydia has a place to sit too. I'm gonna do the thing where you like unfold the like cushioned ottoman in front of you and like do a little granny kneel and hold my purse out in front of me so the clasp brooch thingy is like visible, and I'm just gonna assume the prayer position and be like, hey, I came here like you asked. Can you answer some questions for me? Oh, great one.
And you're saying this out loud as you're praying, like, doing this?
No, I'm doing this in my head.
Go ahead and roll a D100 for me.
Uh-huh. I'm sorry, I'm a fake gamer girl. I don't know how to play D&D. 47.
Okay. A little bit of time goes by. And you get you don't so much hear a voice as you get a very sort of warming, like welcoming sensation bubbling up from inside you. You get the impression that someone has heard and is just awaiting your question.
Why did Sarah have to be out? I need what um okay, two questions. Are you... No, that would be stupid to ask. Where is Lydia from? Test the waters.
A few moments goes by. You eventually get a very sort of muddled sensation.
Uh-huh.
It gives you this individual does not appear to have any idea.
Okay. What can you tell me about the Master of Past and Present?
Go ahead and roll a D100 for me again.
Okay. 13.
Okay. So after a few minutes, you actually this time hear a voice. This one stands outside of time. Wade through waters mortals are not meant for. Traverses places you are not meant to. And with that, you get a sudden, almost violent, just push of information.
Uh-huh.
Into, basically you start seeing just flashes of things. I need you to make a wisdom save for me.
Oh my god. Oh my god!
They can't all be good.
Uh, 5.
Okay,
No,
as you watch,
plus
as you get
3.
these couple of quick flashes,
Yeah, 2 plus 3.
you
Your wisdom
see
is
a
5.
golden-skinned, what looks to be a human male with very almost serpentine features on his face, golden skin, long flowing white hair, standing around a pool. And as you watch, as you can't understand, but you're hearing words muttered. Arcane energies moving between his hands and this crystal on top of his staff. As he reaches down and touches the pool in front of him, you watch as something starts bleating like a wounded animal, and crawls out of the pool of water. And as it sort of drags itself onto the ground, you hear a startled as it takes in breath. As this information is driven into you and you're watching this person create life, you take 2 points of exhaustion. As Lydia sort of reaches over to you and sort of looks, are you okay? You've got some blood running out of your nose.
Sarah's gonna fall over into Lydia. Like.
You okay? Tap me on the cheek, trying to get you to.
Oh, I got answers. I don't know what the answers mean, but they were answers.
And you got blood?
It's fine. Is it cold in here to you?
Jesus, sir.
Okay. Gonna look around for a moment and then be like, what was the master the creature or the man?
Are you asking Lydia this, or?
She's saying it out loud, but she's still holding the brooch, so it's technically for Agma.
As you ask it, you don't seem to get a response.
Oh, fiddlesticks. Well, Lydia, I got that the master of past and present is either a creature born from water and magic, or he made life out of magic. And I don't know which terrifies me more.
I'm just gonna let that one because I have no idea how Lydia would respond to that.
I'm not getting any answers anymore. But you know what would be very good? Some chamomile tea and a nap.
Lydia will start getting up out of the pew and sort of hold her hand down to you.
I hold Lydia's hand. Have my granny shakes.
And Lydia will slowly start heading out. Now, would you have her bring you over to the hearth, or would you be going to meet up with the rest of the party?
I think Sarah's gonna disobey the one rule and stay in the hearth and get herself some tea and get cozy.
Well, Lydia won't allow you to disobey it. She'll stay right with you.
Okay.
She'll follow you over, and she will make a couple of comments about how you seem a little bit slower as your speed is halved.
Uh-huh. I didn't move fast to begin with, Matthew.
But eventually the two of you make it there, and as you sit down and Lydia make sure to get the tea ordered for you and get it brought over, you do see that Rose is here by herself. Well, rather, not with any other members of the party. Rose is currently sitting down with a rather large individual and seems to be thoroughly engrossed in the telling of a tale.
Oh, isn't that just precious? I guess slowly start leaning to one side of my chair.
As your food gets delivered, Rose, currently little one has finished his story and is now regaling you with the tale of how this small party of adventurers had eventually tracked this massive blue dragon out into the desert. And during a massive storm where gargoyles were fighting giants and members of the Harpers and Dragonborn and things, this small group infiltrated down into the dragon's lair. And due to the divine power of a cleric of Ilmater, a very able sharpshooter, a small psychotic wizard, a elemental druid, and an insane warrior with a hatred of blue dragons managed to slay the beast. And as they arose victorious from the battle, to find some of their allies had fallen in the battle, and basically the outskirts of these battles against the gargoyles and other things that had been within this area. The tale is told that this group of only 5 individuals at the end of the tale, not 6 as it started with. Only 5 were responsible for defeating the dragon. And as it calls each of them out by name, it mentions Lachlan, Diana, Callista, Ashlyn. And it mentions how some of them have family in different cities, most notably Waterdeep. And how all of the realm was kept safe by this one act. Defeating the dragon, restoring the giant's hierarchy to it. You can see this little one is sitting there, get a little bit of a tear rolling down. He's like, I can remember going out in those days, just a good thrashing. Some days I miss that. But then I see all these wonderful new worlds opened up to me. I'm hoping you enjoyed the tale as much as I did at the end. I feel now I need to... they said that this Lachlan boy had family in Waterdeep. I'm certain that it must be someone in Waterdeep who knows of him. Must be some article or something written on this. I've asked the Avow to see if they could get any of the publications. But that's a ways away, and at this point the story has already been told. Who knows if any of those publications even still exist?
Well, I'll say that was one hell of a tale, and I hope to be a part of a story like that someday.
Door reaches down this massive, hand and just almost completely envelops quarter your body as he goes to tap your shoulder. Oh, my dear little one, shouldn't call you little one, that's my name. But you will not find your stories with your nose in a book.
Right. Have spent more time than I'd like reading books in this city here, so if I do find myself in Waterdeep, I will try to find stories that you're looking for.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Send them to me here. I'm not planning on going anywhere for a time. As I said, I've never had the ability to read before. I find it quite enjoyable at the moment.
I can relate to that. I can't really read too well myself either, so I've felt a little of place here, to be honest, but...
It will pass. These are decent people here. As the two of you are sitting having this conversation, we're going to pan over to our remaining 3 party members.
I killed the other 2. You took too long. No, I'm just kidding.
A bear is now running around the courtyard.
Who had
into the
Sarah
office,
pulling things
stole
out of
the
her
book.
bag of tricks again?
I killed the Great Reader.
As we pan back over, the Great Reader has arrived back. Seeing the group of you sitting out... What brings you back here? How can I help? I thought you had things to look for.
Artemis is already kind of like sidling along to try and look at the book.
Oh, he hasn't even walked into his office yet. He's still right out there
Coming
with
down
you
the
guys.
hallway.
Oh, dang it.
We do. We are. But that search can take you a lot of places, and it's brought us back here.
He looks at
I'm
you
not
a little
alone.
side-eyed, Murdoch. What do you mean brought you back here? Following your eyes.
Well, we were doing our searching, and we just had a light, one of those revelation light bulb moments, and we remembered that we noticed something in your office that might help us out.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
Oh dear.
I can't all be done by me, unfortunately. You got this.
It's a 12.
That's
Good plus 0. I'm not good at charisma.
better than average.
That is enough.
See?
Hey!
As he rolled a 1.
Oh!
Get effed.
Wow!
He looks he looks over at the group of you a little bit. And then sees walk over and opens his door. Please come in. Let us discuss then. What is it in my office that intrigues you?
Ew,
Oh,
get up
you're
and
in
go
there.
on over.
Uh-huh.
Start looking for that one thing again.
Uh-huh.
Okay. It's
They saw it the first time, yeah, so I don't know what I'm looking for.
realistic. It does not take long, as both of you have seen it. It is still residing up on his bookshelf. You can see it's a little difficult to see at first, but as he comes in and sort of, you hear him mutter a couple of words, and you can see there's arcane candelabras on the side of his office light up. And immediately as the magical flame ignites, you can see the light reflecting off of these silver runes on the book again.
I go for that book. Zoom.
You're just going after the book?
Zoom.
Art, you could just ask.
I need a book.
Art, go ahead. I want you to do a favor. Go ahead and make an initiative roll for me. I just want to see what order this is going to happen in.
He's a nerd, he can't move that fast. But you're also a nerd.
Trips over his robe. Ah!
Shove him in a locker. 8.
Oh.
8?
You said 8? Oh, okay.
They're
So,
both nerds.
Am I supposed to roll too?
no, this is just as Art said. Art was running for the book.
Oh yeah, I'm just sort of calling out. Don't. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah, so as you charge over, so Art, you're just grabbing it?
Yeah. After telling myself out loud, I should have just done that. I should have grabbed it. I'm gonna grab it.
Okay. So you do manage to get over there and grab the book, and it comes right out of the bookshelf into your hands. First thing you notice is this thing is cold. Like, almost uncomfortably cold to the touch. And you can see as you pulled out and are holding it, you hear a slight intake of breath as he's looking at you. So that's what you're looking for.
Apparently. Yes.
I look at that, like the outside of it, like front.
Yep.
Do I
As you're looking at it,
recognize runes or?
it is all written in various arcane runes.
Mm.
Go ahead and make an Arcana check for me.
Uh, 22.
Oh, okay. So, as you're spending the time looking at this, you are able to, I'll use the phrase translate the runes. It's, again, these characters and runes are typically used for writing spells. It looks like somebody has basically bastardized them to essentially title this. And it references that this is a spell book belonging to a wizard by the name of Fistandantilus.
Okay.
And you can hear a soft laugh coming from the Great Reader as you're sort of looking at it. And you can see it taking a few minutes to sort of make everything out. If you think that's entertaining, perhaps you should open it and read the first couple of pages.
I'm sorry for rushing and grabbing it, and I'm sorry.
I open the book.
What languages do you speak again?
Gnomish, Common, Abyssal, and I'm taking Duolingo and Infernal.
So, you are able to read this fluently. And it references that this mage, Fistandantilus, is a servant of the Dark Queen. And as it goes on with a little bit of, all of my spells contained within, and with her key, so you unlock my secrets.
Well, okay, that answers some things.
What is it written in, like, what language?
Abyssal.
Okay. And sorry, what you said, all my spells are contained within?
Yep.
With her key?
With her key, you're going to unlock the secrets.
Interesting. What happens if I flip to other pages?
So as you flip open, go ahead and roll a d20 for me.
11.
Okay.
11, 12.
Let's see. Okay, go ahead and make a wisdom saving throw for me.
This happens with everything that's abyssal that you interact with. Demons.
Luckily, I have advantage against magic for wisdom saving throws.
Yep.
18 plus 5.
Oh, okay. So you feel, as you're trying to look at this, you feel your mind, like, almost like your mind is getting jumbled for a moment. It's like as you're looking at this, you're used to looking at spells that are maybe a little above your ability, and at least being able to somewhat make sense out of it. Looking at these, it takes you back to that first time looking at Abyssal and Infernal, and how the language almost seemed to like worm its way into your mind. And you can feel that same sort of twisting in your mind for a moment, but you managed to shake it off. can't make heads or tails out of it,
Dang it.
but it's not
Hurting
messing
me.
with your head anymore.
Oh gosh. Well, I suppose that's a sort of lead, I guess. Ugh!
You hear a slight
All
chirp.
right.
At least it didn't take you the first time I tried that. I was laying on the floor twitching for a good hour before anyone found me.
I close the book.
All right. What exactly is the book?
It's a spell book.
Hey, I was right.
Written by a servant of the Dark Queen.
Oh,
We've
that's not far off.
heard that name before.
Does it help us?
It says that all of their spells are contained within. With her key, you can unlock the secrets. So there's like an answer to a question, but then there's another.
So we're looking for a Dark Queen, the Dark Queen's key, so we can look at the spells in the book.
Yes.
Well, I mean, now we know at least whose key we're looking for.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna look over at the first reader. Have you ever been able to figure out the key?
No, we have no such artifact here that we are aware of. We don't have any Dark Queen here.
Well,
It may sound like a superfluous question, but what about an artifact that you're not aware of? I mean this in full sincerity. Is there things possibly present in Candlekeep that even the readers are not entirely aware of? We've only seen the smallest bit of it, and the entire complex is massive.
What about like a decoder key?
hidden
Like a
knowledge.
cipher.
That's what-
I mean, I think that's what it's called.
As he's thinking about what you said, Murdoch, after a couple moments, I mean, you must realize that Candlekeep, we are literally a honeycomb of extra-dimensional spaces. I mean, there is at one point, I mean, there are staircases that even those of us who've been here for a while are unaware of. Lead down to the vaults and the catacombs where the oldest of our tomes reside. Most individuals don't head down that area, at least not alone. It's Miriam is down there. And she's an interesting entity.
I will definitely take that into consideration coming from one such as yourself. When the alien says that they're interesting, maybe it's a cipher. I think this
Maybe
is
it's
good.
an object that is a cipher.
The nice thing is knowing what it seeing the lock, you can sort of start to work backwards on what the key. So, good progress. To think that it was behind you the entire time. You know, we spent quite a while. When I originally brought up all of this, did it not bring to mind something that you possibly had been researching?
You can see sort of a sly grin come across the face. I am of the same bent as your diminutive friend here. I want what is inside.
First reader.
I am a great reader. I'm not the first reader.
Great first reader. Great. Good.
Great
Reader.
first.
I don't have the spell on hand. But I was also instructed upon handling this book to cast Contact Other Plane. And I don't have that with me. Do you, perhaps?
Instructed by whom?
Someone from a wizard, from Kryn, who seems to at least be working with us on this whole endeavor.
Go ahead and make a persuasion check.
What about that was persuasive? Not much. 7.
Modifier again. He looks and gives you sort of an up and down. You leave the tome in my office, and I will provide you a scroll. So that you... Is the spell beyond your capabilities normally?
That's a good question.
What level can you cast up to at this point?
4.
Okay, yeah, so it is outside your...
I think I might be able to get you over the hump, so to speak.
It's, So, he says, I can get a scroll for you. You would need to cast it in my office, though.
Right. That I can do.
Right. Walks over behind his desk. You hear a drawer open. A few minutes later, he comes over and sets a scroll in front of you.
Okay. Murdoch, you said you could help somehow.
Yes, do you want me to do... Are we doing this right now?
No
I
time
don't see why
like
we can't.
past and or present.
Alright. I kind of get down on eye level with you. It's not a guarantee, but you can use my bardic inspiration for these checks, which makes it incredibly more likely that you will succeed.
Okay.
She gets down on eye level with you, and she goes, Artemis, you are going to do this. You're going to succeed. I say so, and so shall it be. I give you a little poke on the forehead. There's a little bit of magic in my words, because normally when I say something will happen, it does. I give you bardic inspiration.
Okay.
Roll the dice, Simon.
Do I roll the bardic inspiration dice first, or?
So
By
you
the
can-
nature of my die, you get to roll it afterwards to see if you need it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so go ahead and you're going to make an intelligence check. A straight intelligence check. And then when you look at that number, that's when you'll decide whether or not you are going to roll Murdoch's.
Okay.
Oh, don't roll like another 2.
I'm gonna use
the bardic.
yeah. Is that D8?
Uh-huh. And it's unfailing, so...
Okay, 19.
You succeed. And now I need one more thing from you. I need you to make an intelligence saving throw.
Oh, yeah!
Contact other plane!
I forgot this happened to me! This
It's
happened
against
to
magic,
Marion.
so I get advantage. Wisdom, you said?
No, intelligence.
Intelligence. Oh, even better.
Do you still have advantage if it's intelligence?
16.
Oh.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't. It's only wisdom for gnomes, I think.
I have it for. I can show you a screenshot.
No, if it
There's
says
a
both, yeah,
+9
that's
to
fine.
intelligence.
Yeah, I have a wondrous item as well.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
You want me
Oh
to
no,
send
that
you a
no, it is
screenshot?
intelligence and wisdom. Yeah. So 16,
Oh.
you do manage to hold on to your brain.
Cool!
Barely. It was a DC 15.
It starts leaking out your ear and you just like shove it back in.
So as
I
Artemis
could double slap you with bardic inspiration.
as Artemis has this parchment out, and you can smell the scent of almost sulfur and slightly burning paper as the runes that you can barely make out for the rest of you start to just burn off the parchment. As you can see, Artemis's eyes go blank as you successfully cast a spell, Artemis. That's where we're going to call an end to tonight's session. And we will be back next week to pick up right here with Artemis casting Contact Other Planes at the behest of a spooky voice in their mind.
Sounds good to me.
I'm sure there's nothing will be wrong with that, right? So thank you very much, folks, who've hung out with us this evening. We will be back next week to see what happens to our party and where this heads to next. So in the meantime, folks, don't forget, when roaming around a library, maybe bring a fidget spinner for your barbarian friend. A punching bag, something. And don't forget to add your proficiency bonus, folks. We'll see you next time.